Okay, people, I have decided I want to make some chili. Now, what this is going to pretty much feed me for the next week, which is awesome. Anyway, it's very similar, very much based on the beefqueen's recipe, along with some of my own experimentation. So first off, we've got a big old thing of ground turkey here. How much is that? Oh, of course, it doesn't say. Oh, wait, there it is. 48 ounces of ground turkey. We're going to make enough for a 5-quart slow cooker here. However, we need to brown this first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into thirds. It hasn't quite thawed out yet. I forgot to thaw this in advance, so the microwave had to come to the rescue. Okay, and while I'm at it, I'm just going to go and get this other piece. Done. However, in addition to ground turkey, I put a little something else with it. Right here we got some Jimmy Dean sausage. Now if you don't like the Jimmy Dean brand, if you're from Illinois, I'm sure the Bob Evans brand will work just as well. However, this is what seems to work for me, so I'm going to cut this into thirds as well. Alright, into the pan. Add some crushed red pepper to it while it cooks. And I put a lot of this on to really get the flavor just cooked into it. And it looks like I've got all but just this one little spot thoroughly cooked. So you notice I've kind of got it on its own little part of the pan with trying to concentrate the heat there, which I don't see any more pink, so I'm going to recenter the pan. Alright, let that cook for a second, and then over to the drainer. Alright, time to drain the meat. Alright, while we let that drain, let's get the next round going in the pan. Alright, I'm gonna let that just sit there for just a second. Here's that first little bit I got done. I've got a little bit of grease out of there. Remember, this is ground turkey, which doesn't have as much grease to it. However, we do have that sausage in there. So we'll just dump that in and return the colander to the sinks so it can be ready for the next one. Now, I'm going to add our first can of beans. This is Beanie Weenies. We will have 3 cans of this stuff by the time it's all said and done. Alright, let's go, let's stir the pan. Oh shoot, look what I almost forgot to do. That might have been just a little too much. Yep, I think we're looking really good now. So, I think you all know the drill by now. Alright, time for this to start draining for a minute. Now I want to get some, I like to kind of layer it up, that way it's not meat on the bottom and beans on top. I like to kind of layer it as I build it to make it easier to stir. So, since these chili beans are in chili sauce, I don't have to drain them. So, notice I got a paper towel underneath the can opener to catch drippings. Throw that can in with the recycling, and I can tell this one might be a little stubborn to go in. Yep. I didn't get all that paper off the bottom. Well, that one stubborn bit goes ahead and gets done and thawed out. Get our sausage in there. And of course, while we're waiting on that, we'll go ahead and get another can of Beanie Weenies in there. And of course, our meat. Almost forgot to put the meat in. For those of you who don't know what Beanie Weenies are, they're basically beans with a tomato sauce and then basically little bits of hot dog. It says sliced chicken frank, so basically chicken hot dogs. Well, they cook just a little bit more. I've got another idea from the Beef Queen, some pork and beans. Here we go. Looks like we are about there. Alright, you know the drill. Alright, so we'll let that drip for a minute. Alright, let's get some, while we wait for that, let's do our tomatoes. There it is. And since we have to wait anyway, let's go ahead and get the chili powder in. Oh, whoops, wrong side. Maybe a smidge more than I wanted, but we'll see. Look at that coming together. So, I think you can see we are getting full very quickly. Throwing the last can of the beanie weenies. And I've got some black-eyed peas here that have been flavored with bacon. However, we have to drain that, so get that going in the colander. I opened it up earlier. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try some ranch-style beans. So, I've never used this before, so let's see what happens. It appears this is in a tomato sauce. Yes, this is in a tomato sauce, so we can just dump this right in. So we'll see how this enhances or de-hances the chili. A little nervous, I'll be honest. So, oh, whoops. Now we need some tomato sauce. We're almost there. Now let's add our black-eyed peas. And now for the interesting part. You can see when I make it, I really have the slow cooker packed full. And once I get this all going, I'm going to cook it actually on high for about the first hour. And then I'll kick it on down to low and just really let those juices simmer together. You can see all of that ground beef, you can see the beanie weenies, you can see all those beans and black-eyed peas, the little chunks of tomato. I want to thank the Beef Queen for sharing her chili recipe that I have tinkered around with and in some ways made it my own. Let's see. Very good. We'll throw a little bit of this extra spicy in and a little bit of garlic and herb seasoning. Put a little more of the extra spicy in than I intended. Bit of rosemary. And bit of garlic powder. Now we'll get this another good stirring. Because we all want this to be one big happy mixture. Probably slightly overdid it on the spices, but as long as it's got good flavor, I don't mind. Ooh, we got a nice big chunk of meat right there. And I can tell it's really getting a good blend now. It's getting easier to turn. Not to be confused with an Arctic tern. But anyway. Let's put the lid on. I'm going to let it go for about an hour. And then I'll kick it down to low. And at some point I will turn the lid sideways to let it cook off a little more and cook down. So anyway, that's Weasel Makes Chili.